It's my generation. It's us. I don't know how old you are, but it's us, nigga.
Right.
You know who did it? Us. You wanna know why we did it? We was the our parents was the blue collar, get a job, being there. We was the go for the money generation. We was the $300 million, $400 million. But while we was going for it, you know what we forgot to do? Teach our kids to work. We so busy feeling guilty going for it, we give our kids every fucking thing they want. Now they some entitled assholes. They some entitled assholes. So then it becomes like, it's our fault. Dog, our kids don't even want to work. When we be, you know, they be like, man, these kids fucked up out here, bro. These kids different. They ours. Nigga, they in your house and my house. But we act like we ain't got no fault in it. No, it's all of our kids. We didn't ask them the same thing our parents asked of us. That's why it's fucked up. The generation's fucked up. Because we don't ask our kids. My mom didn't give a fuck. Jordans? No,
I said I'm never coming back again. Next I stepped away from the mirror. I got my mind made up now, cause I can see the future much clearer.
What's happening? Parents creating laziness. And, you know, let's get into it. Like, I've learned that it's a parenting issue that young men and young women don't know how to do certain things. Because it's like you got kids who become grown men and women. They don't know how to cut grass. That was something that we had to, do. They're not really cleanly. They don't clean up like that. That's because of parenting, letting stuff slide. People's hygiene has been off because of that. People's presentation in the world, in the workforce, is off. Because parents are letting things slide. And then the other thing about a lot of parents weren't getting along, so the kids wind up being with parents with, let's just say, you might have had one hardworking parent and one lazy parent. The kids gravitated to the lazy parent. The kids were in the custody of the lazy or lazier parent. So that parent created a lazy adult. And we try to, people like to blame society, but it's really on us as parents. You see a lot of adults, young adults, who are having a hard time dealing with adult life, and the things that they're having issues with are things that probably should have been handled preteen, teenage years. The concept of society now. Oh, nobody wants to work, and it's like work is beneath people, and it's like, yeah, like, because, and I hate to do it this way, but he's right. A lot of us grew up in a rougher time. I get a harder time with parents who were hard nosed parents. They're not, or our grandparents who were like hard nosed people. So there was accountability at an early age. There were responsibilities at an early age, and there was no I get to play stupid kind of situation. There was no, oh, oops, my bad. No, it's not how that went. And what you see is, some people, oh, I don't want to be like my parent. I don't want to be like my parents raised me, and I don't want to be like my grandparents raised me because they were so hard on me. I'm gonna be, I'm gonna chill out and be my kid's friend. And now your kid's a loser. And you're like, well, how come you can't do this? And how come you don't know how to do this? How come you don't know how to do that? You was there the whole time. You never taught them. And you never forced it out of them. And going back to the thing where, if you're in a situation where both parents don't get along, that's been a thing where a parent to get on a kid to do X, Y, Z, and the other parent to be like, no, it's okay. You don't have to do that. And now the kids went from a kid to 25, and now they don't know how to do a lot of things. And it's like, And nobody taught me. And it's a situation where sometimes you weren't taught, and sometimes you ran from the teaching because it was too harsh, or you didn't like the person, or you didn't want to do anything. And then we had this thing where um, and it's not just social media, but social media made it worse. You got kids and adults who just, I'm gonna be a star, and it's like, no, you're not. You don't put in enough work to be a star. This idea that now it's the idea that you can be a star by just being average, mediocre person, just walking around going, hey, you know who I am, and it's like that. Um, for us, that got killed at a very early age because it's like, yo, if you ain't gonna do these things, it's not gonna happen. You want to be a singer, you got to sing. You got to sing in front of people. You got to make songs. It's not just a thing where, oh, well, I'm gonna be it one day. You know, oh, I want to be an athlete. Okay, well, you got to go to practice. You got to put in the workouts. You got to keep practicing when people not practicing. Oh, I just don't feel like it. Well, you're not gonna be nothing. And that's a part of it too, because people will go, man, how you gonna tell me I'm not gonna be nothing? Because people will tell you flat out, you don't even put in the work. I don't know why you think you're gonna be something and you don't put in the work. I don't get it. You're not going where you think you're going because you ain't putting in the work to be there. And it's like, oh my goodness. But now, you say that nowadays, people, oh, my feelings, I need therapy. Oh, you're hating. It's like, oh, okay. All right. So if you don't go to class every day and somebody say, yeah, you're gonna be stupid because you don't go to class every day, you don't learn anything. Nowadays it's like, oh, you don't believe in me. It's like, okay, well, when you're 25 and don't know nothing, you're not gonna remember this because you're too stupid to remember. But but what's worse is, we're enabling this. These kids don't become adults just out of the out of the thin air. It's just like you're seeing kids go down a certain path and you're like, not a good idea. But I'm not gonna get in the way. Who am I? I'm just a mom. I'm just a daddy. Who am I? It's like, oh, okay, interesting. And I can say it this way. It's weird to me because um I would say because of the lack of competence, the lack of competition, the lack of social interaction. I say it's easier for kids to quote unquote get it out the mud now than any other time because you don't have as much competition as you did, back in the day. But you know, that's a thing that kind of just it just throws me off because I'm like, y'all don't see this. But going back to what Ray Daniels was talking about, it's us as parents. You know, a lot of, like, I'm gonna say this, a lot of y'all, a lot of folks, a lot of people, parents figure, you know what, I got it, so my kid don't have to get it, or my kids don't have to get it, and that's not how that goes. But on the other side, I gotta say this also. Some of y'all don't believe in your kids like you believe in yourself. So some of y'all don't, y'all don't put you don't put the effort in to go, hey man, you know, I see something in you, so I'm gonna push you. That's not as active as it was when I was younger. Also, we weren't being realistic with kids and giving them a timetable, you know, and because sometimes it's like, yo, I know what you want to do, but you're gonna have to go from here to here, and that's gonna take some time. But the kids don't have a plan, the parents don't have a plan, so it just goes down here. It's like, well, I'll figure it out, you know. And then because of the enabling, that's why people feel comfortable just like, I'll go back home. Um, We didn't really come from that. We didn't really come from that. Like, you gonna get you gonna get out there, and it's not like you gonna get out because you annoying and you got to get on my. No, it's one of those things where it was like you got to get out into the adult world, and because all the stuff you say you want to do and want to be, you got to put it to the test out here. You know, and what you see is um, because so many people could fall back and go back to their parents' house, they don't actually fulfill their potential because they don't fully go through the hard times. It's like, well, I don't have nothing to eat. Been there. The lights got cut off. Been there. You get what I'm saying? Things are, it feel like the walls are closing in. Been there. Been there. I got $20 to last me a week. Been there. But because us as parents, we didn't toughen these kids up for life, they're not prepared for it. And then we turn around and blame the kids, and it's like, no, it's you. And I'm gonna say it this way, and I hate to do it, but and it's not just a now thing. There have been a lot of single moms who didn't prepare their sons and daughters for adult life, and their sons and daughters wound up being with them for 25, 30, and it's like, well, or if they're not in the house with them anymore, they're hovering around somewhere because all they know is mom and her lazy ways. So now it's like, oh, it's time to grow up, but you can't because you were groomed to do the bare minimum. And then people blame it on you because now you're grown, and when you're grown, it's on you to fix. But it's like, man, this is how I was raised to do just the bare minimum. I don't understand what the problem is. And it's like, yeah, you're going to find out you put in the bare minimum of life, you're going to get less than the bare minimum back. But I'm going to leave it at that, man. Y'all tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.